It's important that when teams throw defenses at you like this, you're not only able to adjust here as time goes along, but within the course of plays. Because Ant made that drive, realized, oh damn, KD's plugging in on that. I'm not going to have no angle to get to the rim. I now end up getting the switch right here with D-Book. And now when I have D-Book, I'll learn from my last play. I took 2 dribbles in last time and tried to kick the cat he couldn't shoot. This time what I do is I now end up taking, watch this, 1 dribble, kick to cat. So then I could be able to get that ball over to cat while KD is still on his way to cat. So he has room to shoot. Next play right here. And so he's going to see a defense that's going to be loaded up. And the key now is to see where is the advantage. Beal is loaded up on this right side. He's practically double teamed. And so Naz Reid ends up making this cut. And that cut right there puts 2 people that Royce O'Neal has to put his focus on in McDaniels and Karl Anthony Towns. And so Ant gets this ball directly to McDaniels because now Royce O'Neal has that long close. He attacks the rim and gets that too. At this point, Ant's probably really got frustrated, meaning that he's trying to drive and everything just pinched in. I got no lanes, right? I kick this out to Cat. And what ends up occurring now later in this possession, right? I'm going to skip over this in a little bit, right? Mike Conley ends up taking this shot right here. And then at this point, you got Ant on the outside off an offensive rebound. He's now got Eric Gordon once again, right? Facing up towards that middle of the floor now, though, right? And now notice what happens. Finally, Ant is able to do this right here. He's able to get this past this first level of help. But trying so hard to do exactly that this whole time has now led him to hyper-focus on just getting past that. And when he gets here, he's out of control. He tries to lay on O'Neal. I can't get that lay. And so now he's really just got to find a new way to attack. And that's really what he's going to do in the second half. So stay tuned. It's also important to understand that he's 2 for 8 right now. He saw him make that layup. He ended up hitting that 3. He's at the free throw line for the 2 fouls we've even seen him have before, right? And so now he's taking this shot right here, free throw, break. Hold on. Ain't bad, you know what I'm saying? 8 points, 3 for 5 from the line, 2 for 8. Actually, that's kind of bad, you know what I'm saying? We 2 for 8, 25%, then 3 for 5, 60%. We bricks right now. But the most important part of this, right? Make that 4 for 6 is that what Ant is gonna do here is something a lot of hoopers don't do. And it's something that y'all need to start doing, which is disassociating your offensive performance from the amount of effort you give defensively. You seen Ant just hit that free throw, right? You see him just hit that free throw. And now what he's going to do going forward, he's going to keep up the intensity on the other side, and notice what happens as a byproduct of that. Notice what happens. He picks up full court Bradley Beal, boom, beats him to a spot. You got a screen to work around, no problem. Go underneath that, chase over that, and I've only built up your engine. For you to now not even run any offense because you're frustrated because you got foul trouble, 1, and 2, you're like, damn, this may be the best opportunity I get to get anything if that's the mind of Bradley Beal. So now at this point, he's attacking to the lane. Boom, you get no foul, slips at your hands. They may have called it your way. We going to challenge that and now going back our way. That's why you must disassociate your performance on offense from what you do on defense. Because if you try to connect those two, you're cooked. Your coach is going to take you out the game because you're providing no value at all to the team. You're only just been a detriment. Going forward into the second half, I want you to understand the commonalities between all of Ant's attacks going forward, right? He got that screen from Cat. Now he's working his way towards this right wing, and get familiar with this right wing. This is one of the commonalities, right? He ended up getting a switch on the Nurkic. Now you got Naz Reid on the clear out. You got KD over here trying to point switch to somebody who's in front of him. He can't see you. It's not going to work. Hopefully he hears you, but clearly he ain't listening. And so now what ends up occurring, Royce O'Neal plugs that drive. KD leaves through. McDaniels gets that. And now McDaniels ends up getting this too. That right wing, though, pay attention. Pay attention to how Ant's going to now get into these attacks in comparison to what he was doing in that first half. Always seeing a loaded up defense, not having lanes to go to the rim or get into anything that he wanted to. Now he got to switch on to Royce O'Neal. And now pay attention to Royce O'Neal. This is about to be number 2 commonality. So now, Royce O'Neal on that switch. And now what ends up occurring, I now finally get a lane to the rim. Finally. I found a matchup I like. 1, I begin my attack. 2, closer to the middle of the floor in comparison to where I was last time, because last time he was towards this hash mark, right? But now, since I'm more left, this now puts a shit ton of pressure on KD to help out the strong side corner because he has to cover all of this ground. And if McDaniels is wide open, although he is 33, 34%, wide open shot, that's probably going up to pushing 40. So that's going to be a clean look for McDaniels. And now what ends up occurring here, kick out to that weak side, pulling the help. Nas Reed from that corner, bucket. Pay attention. Ant's about to keep cooking. He's about to keep cooking. Drag screen by Nas Reed. And guess who I get once again? Royce O'Neal where? On the right wing. On the right wing once again. And by the way, I got an empty corner. So I have even more space to get to what I want to. He's finding his groove. He's finding his spots. And this is what, as players, y'all got to do. Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I just had to emphasize that and switch the camera right quick. And so now what ends up occurring now is that Ant, when he gets into his attack, Nas Reed leaves, Bradley Beal ends up turning, he ends up leaving, and so there's practically no opportunity for a double team. And that's something Phoenix doesn't even do in their isolations. In their isolation, you know what Phoenix does? They just sit there and watch like this. They sit there and watch like they're a snowman. Stay in the same spot, do nothing, right? And so notice this as well with Ant's attack, right? Is that if you want to be able to get into your snatchbacks, this right here is what you got to read. A defender opening up their base, trying to beat you to a spot and leaving you all this room, because that shows you they're trying to beat you down here, and if they're trying to beat you up here, they would maintain contact, right? And so now boom, snatchback, I got room, hit my last 2 shots, this one off the dribble, got me rhythm, give me another bucket. Trying to tell you, it don't matter if it's the end of the game, the start of the game. If you don't cook somebody 4 times, why not go ahead and make it 5? Because notice what ends up occurring right here. Calls for this screen from McDaniels because McDaniels got Royce O'Neal. And empty corner once again, but I don't even need that corner because you already switched up and are taking away that baseline, leaving me this middle. And the most important part about this angle is that step Ant took right there, because that opened up everything, right? Because the second he decides to make this go, he's going to get contact right here, which just pushes him out. But when he gets pushed out, Ant decides to go and push himself back in so he doesn't work into KD, and he's able to get now to the rim and get that lay, right? He reassured that drive by once he got hit with contact, he fought that contact with some more contact and got his angle. And y'all got to continuously do that same thing. Don't give up on your angles the second you feel that first bit of contact. At the start of the play, Ant now weighs off Rudy Gobert, and he has 2 options right here. 2 defenders he could possibly attack. He's got Bradley Beal, who's got 4 fouls, and he's got Royce O'Neal, who now was his favorable matchup. I don't care who steps up, you're getting cooked, right? I don't care who steps up, you about to get cooked. And so now Ant is going to do this what? Go back to that right wing, and not just the right wing. I'm going to go to the right wing and clear out that corner, because clearing out that corner gives me space to be able to now get into this post up. And there's nobody at the top of the key. This is an isolation. This is a 1v1. And you're in foul trouble, minimal resistance. So now what ends up occurring? Ant got it, turns his head, looks up at the shot clock, right? Looks up at the clock, realize I got 5, spin away. All you're doing is just trying to show a hand, and that hand's just not going to be enough. And now how did I know he looked up? This right here. This right here. You're like, he didn't turn his head. Yes, he did. I seen this shit on the replay. I didn't see it on the first play. I was like, oh shit, he just turned his head. Little clock awareness, things like that, NBA players got to have. And there's just so much going on in the game that things like that, a lot of people could forget, but it's the ones who really score that are able to be super timely when it comes down to that and have that shot clock right in the back of their mind. Notice this here too. Watch Ant, right? Cut through. Why do you need to cut through? Because I just need space. If you want to be able to play in isolation, I need space. And Eric Gordon ends up not clearing out, as a matter of fact. And Ant turns his back like he did last time with Bradley Beal. But he scored the last time. Phoenix going to adjust this time. Royce O'Neal sends this double. Easy basketball. Swinging around the perimeter. Conley to Cat to McDaniels. You got to go from block to corner. You're just too late. He knocks that down. Watch Ant, right? Watch Ant. Tells Cat to stay on that side. Tells everyone to stay on the right side. Tells McDaniels to go through to that left side. And now, just judging by the space of the floor at this point in time, you would think that Bradley Beal would now force Ant to that middle because that's where everybody is. So if the kick out occurs, anybody could get out. Everybody could rotate. But what does Bradley Beal now do, right? You decide to guess wrong on that crossover, and if you reach, is where I teach. And now, boom, come down the lane, off two. That's tough.